Doom. One word, that's all you need. Doom. Can't think of a better way to fire off October than with Doom. Oh, you're still here? Sorry, I got a little too immersed. Doom is about a Mars base getting sucked into hell due to some science experiments going wrong. You play as an unnamed Marine that the community calls Doom Guy. The new series refers to him as Doom Slayer. He got shipped to the Union Aerospace Corporation, or the UAC, to help the Marines guard the radioactive waste facility. The base experimented with teleportation, and one too many tests sent them straight to hell. Doom came out in 1993. It revolutionized the first-person shooter genre. Developed by id Software and designed by John Romero, American McGee, and so many great designers that moved on to make other famous projects, John Carmack was among the programmers. He continued to work with id Software. He even worked on Doom 2016. Currently, he works with the Oculus VR team. Him and Romero co-founded id Software. So yeah, these guys are powerhouses. Honestly, the history and development of Doom deserves to be a separate video, as there's crazy amounts of history, kinda like Sierra. Both id and Sierra have some crazy complex pasts. Definitely history book quality. Doom is a masterpiece that has stood the test of time. Do you like FPS games? Let me tell you, you've played a hint of Doom. Doom is the father of FPS games. Doom is an FPS game in its purest form. But before we get into that, I must throw out a little disclaimer. Wolfenstein 3D is the game that most people credit as being the first FPS game. It too was developed by id Software and the gang. It's about killing Nazis in World War II. Plain and simple. Wolfenstein's a whole nother history lesson, but to avoid being torn a new butthole, I had to mention it, being the granddaddy of FPS games. Or else the fan base would, have me on a pike. But if you really want to be that nitpicky, because I know some of you exist out there, games like Battlezone in 1980 are examples of early first-person games. But Doom polarized the genre. Doom was everywhere. Doom was one of the first multiplayer games being installed and played in the workplace. This caused so many problems that it had to be banned. Doom was crashing some servers due to death matches. Doom was being installed more than Windows. Doom also brought satanic symbols into good Christian homes. Parents were worried about their kids worshiping Satan after playing this game, but who could blame them? The icon of sin's in the game. Yeah, doesn't that image just make you want to carve a pentagram into your chest? Doom was blamed by news media for the horrendous acts of Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, the Columbine shooters. Doom was everywhere and was being blamed for anything and was trying to get banned, and Doom ruled the world. What followed was an infestation of Doom-like games. Killing Time, Duke Nukem, Star Wars Dark Forces, Alien Trilogy, Nom, I could go on, but the point was, it was a formula that worked and everyone was talking about Doom. So what do? You make games like it. That's not to say these games are bad. Duke Nukem 3D is one of the best games ever made. Star Wars Dark Forces is also a classic, and well, you kind of saw what Killing Time was like. But the point being is that Doom started it all. Doom is the reason why you're playing Call of Duty or Battlefield right now. Doom is our daddy. So what about the game itself? Can I really bring anything new to the table? I know it's a little bit of pretentious of me to assume that everyone has played the original Doom, but just in case you haven't, here we go. I'm pretty sure what can be said about Doom has already been said. It's pure FPS, there is no perks, there is no leveling system, just you, your gun, and some enemies. Then again, there is some power-ups you can pick up along the way, but it ain't like you can hold them in an inventory system and use them later. Just shoot anything that moves, blast them, fill them full of lead, choose the best gun in gaming history, Doom Guy Shotgun. In the background, you may notice the double barrel, which is the most satisfying weapon ever made, by the way. I have a habit of tying Doom and Doom 2 Hell on Earth into one game. I've always seen them both as just one, but that's because growing up I was just asked, hey, you want to play Doom? And it was never, hey, want to play Doom 2? We, as in my friends and family, all saw 2 as an expansion pack and not a direct sequel. There's no point in arguing, just accept that for the purposes of this video, when I say Doom, I mean Doom 1, 2, the added Thy Flesh Consumed episode, and the final Doom expansions. Instead of reiterating what everyone has already said, good level design, spoopy, pew pew, I'm going to talk about why I love Doom so much. The customizability. There's about 1 million different ways to play Doom, and this is because it got released a couple million times. And because id Software did something that I admire and love, they encouraged and allowed players to modify the game. This spawned a spew of WADs, which are what the level files are called, that were made by the community. This spawned a variety of ways to play Doom today. You got all kinds of ports. GZ Doom, Crispy Doom, Chocolate Doom, Z Doom, and it goes on. Of course, I'm referring mainly to the PC version, and this whole video is referring to that. If we were talking about the different physical ports, like on consoles, we'd be here all day, as Doom got ported to everything. Everything. Doom is literally on everything. Though I don't know if the original Doom is on the new gen consoles, like the Xbox One or the PS4, but probably. I wouldn't be surprised. For me, I like GZ Doom. It works with most of my mods. Crispy Doom is probably the best if you want a more authentic feel, as it plays more like the original DOS version. GZ Doom, as I said, works with most of my mods, and I like to turn on mouse look and jump sometimes to make it a more modern game or just to change things up. I've played Doom with classic controls for years, and now it's time to reward myself with a little bit of ease. Though sometimes jumping makes it too easy. I've played this game so much that I'm okay with modding it to death at this point. Cheats. Today's cheats are kind of out the window. Like, I remember with classic consoles, you had cheat codes, and then later you unlocked them in gimmicky ways. Like in GTA, it was about like dialing a specific number on the cell phone or payphone. Some games like Clive Barker's Jericho had you phoning in to get the cheat codes, which, yeah, that was a thing back in the classic console days, but Jericho came out much later. Want to know about Jericho? Okay, next video. On PC, some game engines have console cheats. Most notably, Source Engine games have the widest range of console commands that alter your game. Doom? Kind of the same way. It's easy to no-clip. Enable God Mode, or give yourself every weapon. Yeah, Cyber Demon and Spider Mastermind has nothing on me. Also, why do they have to give Cyber Demon such a defined butt? You have to cheat to get to the best Easter egg ever, John Romero's head on a stake. It's so satisfying to kill John Romero. Take it. Take it! This is because you made that horrendous Daikatana game. Yes, scream. Scream as loud as you want. Nintendo sucks. I hate Nintendo, and I'm not afraid to say it. I'll say it with the top of my lungs. I hate Nintendo! I mean, yeah, I love their games, and most of my favorite games of all time happen to be Nintendo related. And our editor is like this Nintendo fangirl. But the reason I hate Nintendo is because so many good fan-made games and mods get pulled. And it's dumb. Doom? You got thousands of them. From Sonic to DayZ to simple Doom mods. Joel of Vinesauce holds a contest every now and again, and some websites still offer prizes for good WADs. There's even a slew of fan-made games that are pretty amazing. It's why Doom is still played today. An outdated, advanced for its time engine is still being used to make all sorts of games and mods and WADs, and it's unbelievable. id Software's name will be imprinted in our brains forever. Now, that's not to say that they're perfect. Once ZeniMax Media, Bethesda, as most of you know them as, acquired them, there has been some controversy about some fan-made stuff, and even id themselves back in the day actually pulled something. But generally, everything's free to use as long as you have a legal copy of the game. What about you, Nintendo? Man, Nintendo's gonna have like some assassins come kill me. That's the scariest thing about October. Nintendo. And that's my 3 personal reasons that are sort of glossed over. As far as the popular reasons, I'll only talk about one, the levels. There's some poorly designed levels, don't get me wrong, and some people do like to trash from the tight, claustrophobic levels of Doom 2, but for the most part, Doom has a great variety of some amazing levels. They do a good job of giving a unique feel to most of the levels as well. It's not like Wolfenstein where it all sort of blurs together after a while. You get a little bit of sewers, a little bit of outdoors, a little bit of caves, a little bit of hell. Doom, simply put, is a masterpiece. From now till the end of the video, listen to what you all have been waiting for me to comment on. Every single fanboy out there was like, what about the music?